You looking at my girlfriend? You looking at my girlfriend? See you staring at my girlfriend. Would you fucking take a picture last longer, huh? Go ahead. Go ahead. Take a picture, huh? I see you looking at my girlfriend. I don't like this stuff, huh? So, welcome back, man. Welcome back to the air we breathe, the time we share together. These times are sacred to me. You might not believe that, but I say it with sincerity, honesty. You know what I'm saying? I do. Appreciate every moment. So this guitar behind me is actually a special instrument. Why is this a special instrument? Well, this celebrates one of the biggest scores I ever got. One of the biggest scores I ever got at a swap meet. It was crazy how it happened. And it was unexpected. And it's one of those things where you just sort of like take your chances, be a friendly person, right? So I'm going to set this up, man. I'm going to set this up for you. This old Guitkit about a year ago. Walking through swap meet on a cold winter. Not many people there, right? And there was a lady there that had a little like kiosk kind of thing with like all kinds of like, you know what I mean, instruments, guitars, but not just regular, just like run-of-the-mill shit, like strange other instruments like cellos and, you know what I mean, like a full range, like a little whole music store in this little tiny thing that's the size of like a, like, you know what I mean, a storage, you know, unit, you know. Really, really cool, you know what I mean? So I went in there and I always sort of like checked it out before. And I was usually during the summertime when there are people around. You know, she always has used records too. That's nothing I forget. She'll put them in front. People digging through the bins of records. So it's cool, right? Very cool people, you know. But this time there's nobody there because it's winter. She was there. Had to be there. Not too much going on. You know what I'm saying? So I figured, maybe I'll just check this out. So I was talking to the lady, you know what I mean? She's like, yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, you see you sell some used guitars there. You got any used guitars that are broken? She's like, broken? Why? And I said, well, I happen to be the Guitkit. She's like, oh, that's nice. Is that contagious? Because, no, it's not. And I explained, I said, I got a little flog. You know what I mean? I take all fucked up guitars. I buy them here to swap meet. $10, $5, $3, $4, $20, whatever. You know what I mean? I buy them. I fix them. As long as it's little tiny repairs, you know what I mean? And that's what I do. That's my business. You know what I mean? It's my side hobby. It's what I like to do. You know what I mean? I don't make money from it. It's just purely my passion. She's like, I got some guitars for you. A couple guitars I'll sell you. I was thinking of getting into that, but I don't really have the time, patience. You know, over the past 20 years or so, I've collected a bunch of guitars that I figured I'd try to fix, but I never wanted to, you know, get that far with them. And I'll sell them to you. What's your number? I was like, oh, all right. My number is, you know what I mean? Months went by, 6 months. You know? Summertime's coming up. I'm sitting there, get a text. All these pictures of different guitars. Like 10 guitars. I was like, 10 guitars? I mean, this weird number. Didn't know who it was. So there's got to be somebody I know. You know what I mean? Sending me guitars, right? So after like the 10th or 11th text picture came in, it's like, hey, it's such and such the name. You know what I mean? Do you want all these guitars for $100? It was like 11 pictures. I was like, 11 guitars for $100? Some of them look pretty cool. This one looked pretty cool, right? I was like, yes, who are you? You know, what's going on here? So, yeah, I remember me on the swap meet. I'm so glad, you know, it took me a little while. I was like, oh, yes. Yes, the lady, she's a little older, you know what I mean? She's probably my mom's age. I was like, so, yes. You know what I mean? I was like, I'll come and swap meet on Sunday. I get him. And that Sunday, there's like a monsoon. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to swap meet. So at like 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm texting her, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I'm going. You bring that $100 bill with you. I was like, all right. All right. You know what I mean? We get there, she has them all wrapped up in large bags, all 11, 12 guitars, whatever it was. And every one of them was excellent. None of them was a clunker. None of them was something I'd throw away. They're all like cool guitars, all fodder for the Guitkits show. And this is the first of them. They're not all electrics, they're acoustics, they're all kinds of crazy stuff. This is the first of them. Probably the first time I'm going to talk about it. Might be the last time I'm talk about it. But you know what? We're going to enjoy this. We're going to take our time. This is a Behringer guitar. See if it's got a model number on it anywhere. Behringer. It's probably made in China. We'll figure out exactly what the model on this is. We talked about Behringer before. We did during Amp Month. A little Behringer. You can see the link below that. Hear about the story of Uli Behringer. He was like a child whiz with electronics from Switzerland. I believe Baden, Switzerland. He was born there. And he moved to Dusseldorf, Germany. And he became like, you know, made all the, in the 80s, all different kinds of different mixing boards and amplifier switches, things like that. And the amplifiers, guitars. A special treat. I'll play this out of that Behringer amp. I'll take it out of the amps in the back. I have a little tiny modeling amp that I did in Amp Month. I'll try to find it. We'll play this through that. We'll fix it up. We'll flip you around. We'll take a good look at it. It's missing some knobs. Hopefully it's got the electronics. I haven't tested it yet. But it's missing a tuner. Little things, people. Little things. So I'll flip you around. We're going to celebrate our luck together. And there it is, man. You know that Uli Behringer is actually second cousins with Tom Behringer? Believe that? Bet you never knew that. You know why? Because it's totally not true. Total bullshit lie. Just made it up right now. Missing knobs. This will be a regular set of old Stratocaster knobs. You know what I mean? Old scumbag Stratocaster knobs. Switch tip. We got them by the millions. Still got these guys. I don't know if the electronics are working. We're going to have to do the amp tap test. We'll do that right after we're done talking. Unfinished fretboard, which is the cool thing, you know what I mean, in the late 90s, 2000 on the cheap guitars, early 2000s. It looks like an unfinished neck completely. The back has a light finish on it, actually. The front does not have any finish on it, really. Isn't that cool? It's got like a sanding sealer on the front, and the back's got like a nice sort of satin finish, poly. You got the gasket. It's one of those gasketers, right? We got this. We got this. You know what that means? Samick. Looks like Samick made this. Looks like Samick helped our friend Uli out. Hey, Uli. What are you doing over there? Come back here. So what we're going to have to do first and foremost, man, is test these electronicals out right there. I like to test them out over here. But you know what? I'm going to find that Behringer amp. I'm going to test on the Behringer amp. Just to make sure I have it. Let's locate that. Alright? And if the electronics work, we'll be in business. If the electronics don't work, you know what I mean? It's going to be a longer episode than I thought. Either way, I might want to open this up to show you guys, you know, what kind of electronics we're working with. Because we like to do that, right? So let's go to the laboratory right now. Let's crack this guy open. I want to look at the electronics one way or another. But first, I'm just going to test them out and see if they work. I don't want to mess with it. You know what I mean? I know what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? This is the other thing I wanted to point out. Probably saw it. I already mentioned it. Missing. Sure, we got a couple of them in the drawer. Right? Pretty sure. Hopefully. Right? Hopefully I have something in the drawer to replace it. Hope I'm not just wasting your time. You know what I mean? Get to the end of the episode of 5-string time. Keith Richards style. See you in the laboratory. Wherever you travel, the laboratory always beckons you back home. So we're here checking this thing out. I brought it over to the amplifier, to the old tap test. Sounds like it works. Sounds like everything's connected. There's a little bit of funkiness going on with this middle one, though. Sometimes when I'm in like one of these positions, it won't come on until I like jiggle it a little bit. I see that one of those little pull pieces is sunk. See that one in the middle there? It's kind of sunk down. You know, I was like, is this staggered? I don't know if that's like intentional or not. But there's something weird going on. It's something dirty. So the first thing we want to do is we want to unscrew all of these screws here. And then, but see you at that moment. Right? We'll clean it up a little bit. We'll give a little bit of TLC. I'll show you all the electronicals that we're working with here. You know what I mean? We won't just be sitting around just stroganoff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's my favorite meal from Rice-A-Roni, the stroganoff. All right? I see in a mermaid. All right, so we've sort of diagnosed the problem here. Right away, when I took the thing off, it came right off. I was like, ooh. Ooh, Tony. Don't go running for somebody else. You've already joined the family. So, you can see these pole pieces are all pretty much lined up here. This one's a little tiny bit. Probably push him back a little tiny bit. But, I don't really make too much changes. Best thing to do really is just reattach this, right? Re-glue it. So I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. Looks like they got like some kind of wood glue on there. I don't know what the hell they used. Type of an epoxy. I'm thinking maybe just put a little bit of crazy glue on there, right? Just a little bit of crazy glue. And just glue it right back on where it belongs, right? Seems to be right. Find the exact holes as they line up, right? And just glue it there. Before we do that, though, let's clean this up because we don't want to get all the electro contact cleaner. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to get it all over everywhere. They got these little dime store pots. No big whoop. This is real cheap shit, man. Like lower than the fucking low, man. So fucking Yuli was like, get all the cheapest shit. Get all the cheapest shit. Look at this. Like, nope. Oh, this is for the special one that we put anthrax on. Anthrax dust inside cavity. Right? Broken pickup. Let's get the electric contact cleaner out and get the little nose inside of here and clean out all these components, man. The CRC, I'll see in a moment after that's all cleansed. No, man, I lost my charge, bro. Alright, so we cleaned them all out with some CRC. Just took the little tiny tip of that and stuck it in here. Stuck it right in there where you got all the little wires coming out, right in there. Once it was all soaked up, and I also did this one too. Just all like crazy, you know what I mean? Like spinning them all the way forth a bunch of times. They're nice and clean. We cleaned out a path in there. We also took a better look at this. I know what happened. Got smacked from the front, which knocked the magnet off and threw everything out of whack. Turned it into a parts guitar because it became unreliable on stage, right? This is my theorem, right? So we took a little tiny, you know what I mean, finishing panel nail, and we hammered these guys back with this till everything was perfect, you know what I mean, in the front. And these little, you know, faux wax, you know what I mean. Woo! It's ready to go, man. Once it's made, fit perfectly in there, we're going to take a little tiny bit of crazy glue right now. We're going to reattach this, you know what I mean, carefully. And I'll see you at that juncture, right? I'll see you at that juncture. See you in a minute. All right, so our journey started here. We applied super glue to like the little spaces in between those little Lego bumps on the back of the magnet, you know what I'm saying? And we also made sure there was a little bit of glue on the actual pickup side as well. And we have it precariously clamped with a large, you know, mouth clamp. You know what I'm saying? Everything's still even. We haven't pushed anything back in there. We'll let this set for, I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that. Make sure it's all connected for the people. And I'll unclamp it and I'll see then. This is all very precarious. It's all very precariously set up. Standing up, if we just like breathe on it, it might fall over and mess everything up. That's because we're a little half-assed. You know what I'm saying? People, I'll see in a moment. Alright, so we got it unclamped. I noticed, man, there's like a little hairline crack there. You see that? It doesn't go through the plastic all the way. Whereas, you know what I mean? From the impact. This has a huge crack over here from the impact. See that? It's broken through the plastic all the way, actually. But it seems to be stable as long as it's in this, you know what I mean, pickup cover. And it's all screwed together. So I'm not going to fuddle with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fuddler. It's definitely stable. Nobody will ever know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that pickguard around. I'll put like 4 anchor screws in it. Always try to keep them in order. You know what I mean? You want to keep them all special and steady. We're going to put those 4 anchor screws in there and make sure that it still works. Go do another tap test on it. If it works, we'll put the rest of the screws in there. I'll see you then, friend. All right, so that tap test went smashingly. Works like a charm. Sounds great. So we sunk the other screws. Before we did that, though, we picked out 6 identical screws out of our little import pickguard screw drawer. You know what I'm saying? We want to have perfect screws for when we figure out what kind of tremolo cover we got to put on there. We want to make sure that the drapes match the curtains there. Right? So our next thing that we got to really work on, man, we got to worry about, man, we got to think about, we got to attend to, is this fucking horse. Oh man, I've been through the desert on a horse with no tooth. I got a whole like little bag full of like, you know, miscellaneous, you know what I mean, these type. See, this guy has been sacrificed just for his top, you know what I mean? Looks just for his button. And the weird thing is these buttons on most of these that I have, actually the big kind, and they're not the ones I'm even looking for. But it looks like this guy right here is gonna fit the bill perfectly. You know what I'm saying? I just need to find a nice little strap button, and I did. Look at that, man. I found a whole drawer. A whole packet, man, in the drawer. Look at that, man. It's a perfect match, man. So we have to sacrifice this set of 6 for this guy, but at least I'll have 5 more in case this happens again, right? Let's make sure that this thing... Oh, look at that. It's like evening in Rome. So we're going to look for a nice screw and everything to perfectly match it. We're going to assemble it. I'll see at third point, right? Third particular point. Hopefully everything will work out smashingly. Right? This looks like it has all the little parts. You know what I mean? It's got all the little washers and stuff. See, this has a little white washer and then a little black washer. So I don't want to duplicate that little combination in a perfect manner. I think this has a brass screw here, doesn't it? This does have a brass screw, and there we have brass screws right there. Because these were removed from the guitar just like this one, man. I believe this was made by Sammy in China. See you in a moment. There we go. We finally got one all put together that's going to do the trick here, man. It was a real pain in the ass. We did take apart 3 different tuners. You know what I mean? Change out. You know, once thought we got it, you know, perfectly right, we had to find something else. See, we had to change the base plate because the base plate was different than the one that, you know, we needed. And we had to change out the actual post. There's one post that was slightly fatter. You know what I mean? It didn't fit through the hole. See that? The post doesn't fit through the damn hole. See that? And this one, you know what I mean? It came from 3 different, 3 different tuners, man. We finally like a vampire one that's perfect. Fits the holes perfectly. You know what I'm saying? See the differences, the slight differences in this one. How this one has like a long, this one's like a short. And it's got like a slightly different sort of, you know what I'm saying? Pyramid type thing, man. It's all kinds of crazy fucking differences, bro. And brosettes. So let's screw this thing on. You know, I got a bunch of different screws here. We'll find some matchers. And we'll see you there. Right? There. There it is, man. All screwed up. It's perfect. It looks perfect. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever know. Nobody ever know anything about it, man. So, this thing is fucking dirty, man. There's all kinds of pockets of scum all over this instrument. You know, especially here. I don't know what's that. It's all dirty, dark. It's not like filthy dirty, and it's not like scraped up or scratched up in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? But it is kind of filthy, man. So, let's take our old friend Fernie Polly and get them all, you know, slick and shit. You know what I mean? We want slick and shit, man. Right? So see you when that's been accomplished. Or accomplished. Depending on your accent of choice. Now it's so nice and clean. All that shit is gone. You know what I mean? We got it like, you know what I mean? There's no wear on the frets either. Took a look very carefully. They look like they're in perfect condition. We got everything totally clean. Since this is like kind of like painted in like a poly plastic, we don't really need to put any polishes on it. I mean, it looks like it fucking just came out of the goddamn fucking package, man. It looks beautiful. Very, very proud of it, man. Love it, love it, love it. So I said, you know what I mean, that it probably just had regular old douchebag Strat knobs. I don't know that for a fact. I don't even really know the name of this instrument or the model number or anything. So let's try to find out line, you know what I mean, what we're working with here, the plastics we need. You know what I mean? We got a bunch of little, you know what I'm saying? So I'll see you over in the learning annex. We're gonna learn on, right? Learn on me. When you're not smart, I read and write. And you're not too slow. Alright folks, welcome back to the learning laboratory. We're going to find what accoutrements we need. This guitar was a slick one. It's really hard to find out the actual name of, the instrument from the manufacturer, because it is discontinued, as you can see. Currently unavailable. This is the Behringer V-Tone electric guitar and amp pack. This is the only listing online that still kind of exists from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That when it was available. You can see this is listed directly from Behringer. It came with, you know what I mean, a little strap and all shit. It actually came with the amplifier that we're going to test on it. We met this amplifier before in our friendship together. Remember this guy? The Behringer GM108? That's the same one we're going to test it with today. Isn't that special, folks? And this is a special moment in our friendship where things come full circle. So you can see that the old Amazon listing online, it says that it's currently unavailable. They don't know when it's going to be back in stock. They don't even care. A little bit. I'll give you all the details just in case you wanted to know, in case you have one, and you really can't find this information because your reading and writing's not that great. It's okay, man. We're all a little bit slow sometimes, man. But you can see the other information down here if you want all that information too, man. The item model number is GPACY1 BK. You know what I mean? The ASN number. You know what I mean? It was first available on November 10th, 2005. I remember where I was on that very day, people. And all the other stuff you kind of know, man. Nobody has uploaded any videos. This is all the information about it, how it's wonderful. You see, it even mentions the GM108. You see that? It even mentions it. You know what I mean? It has all kinds of great, wonderful things about how wonderful life is if you get this instrument. You know what I mean? That's the way they said it. But the only picture that's left on the listing is this little tiny thumbnail, because it's no longer supported by the manufacturer. So I found a little bit better, you know what I mean, listing here, I mean, with the pictures of the exact instrument, so we can find out what we actually need. Again, this listing says it's just a Strat-Style electric guitar. It's got a kick bag and a strap, but it's exactly what we have. You can take a look here. We zoom in, man. You zoom in on me. It's the exact same instrument. So let's take just a quick gander. I want you to make sure that you know that I'm not fooling with you, man. See that? That's the same instrument that we have. Can't you tell? Can't you tell by all the things that all the experiences we've had so far? So here we go. Like I said, man, just regular old jerk off. You know what I'm saying? Jerk off knobs, man. I got a whole set of jerk off knobs right here, man. They're ready to get all jerked off with you. You see that? I got a little switch tip that fits perfectly into this little equation here. Then we got the back plate. Get a good close up of that back plate. I want you to see it. I want you to know it. I want you to experience. See, there's a serial number, I believe, on there. It's a centered back plate, a Chinese centered back plate. It's put on there with the exact same screws that the rest of the plastic is held on by on the front. And I have located one of those in my vast archive, man. So we got all the shit that we need. We found the plastics that are correct for this Behringer V-Tone electric guitar, man. Let's see you back in the laboratory. Back to the lab. So we got all of our little plastics. We know what we're dealing with now. We know the name of what we're dealing with now. Riding high, man. Riding high on a summer breeze. So let's put this little guy on here first, because that seems to be the easiest. Now, for certain ones have like a crosshair, some are like thin. You know what I mean? Always expect it not to fit. It's good to have a bunch of them. That's perfect. Huh? We got these douchebag knobs, so we're going to move these all the way back. I'm going to install them correctly. I'll see in a moment. Look at that, look at that, look at that. We're perfect. We're perfect, man. I'm feeling so good about this project now, people. we're in the home stretch. So we're up to, like, you know what I mean, issue grade. This is pretty much as nice as it was when it came out of the box. Got some of my favorite strings, man. The Orpheus. I've talked about these every time I do electric guitar because I got a whole pile of them. Although I do have some other nice strings in the archive. This is good enough for today. So let's put them on right now. We're getting so close, people. Look how nice and shiny everything looks now. It was covered with like a haze before, right? Seeing a mermaid. What mermaid? Let's get it all set up too, man. You know what I mean? That could be a pain in the arse. Alright, so we're all strung up. Other than a little tweak of the truss rod and a couple adjusted saddles. I mean, we really didn't have to do too much, you know? I mean, the neck had like a weird warp in it, kind of like a little divot in the middle there. But, you know, you got to learn how to work the truss rod, really, you know what I mean? Just tighten it, you know, I mean, a full revolution, just watch it. Spring back to life like sea monkeys, man. So, we got one last thing to put on this instrument. Now, the reason I saved that for last, these import guitars with these real cheap small blocks have a tendency to, like, you know, move around after, you know, 10 years or so. Because the springs, like, will pull them, you know, where they shouldn't be sometimes. So, you never know. This one looked a little uneven, so I just waited, you know. But it looks like it lines up perfectly. I mean, the holes, the screw holes line up perfectly. Get this in there. It's a little, I want to demonstrate it correctly for the people. See how it's perfectly lined up in all shapes, respects, and forms. See that? Everything lines up 2,000%. Let's use those screws, put it on, and I'll see you at the glamour shots, man. Ready? 1, 2. Alright, so there's a real quick glam shots before the glam shots. This is the little amp that we're going to be testing out. This is the first part of the package, man. So you can tell that it's got a nice little modeling, you know, module there, man. That's what Behringer's all about, is modules, man. And the rest is all sort of like things that we know what it is, man. So that's that, man. So now let's get into the main course. All right, where's the main course, Tony? Bring it on. There it is. And now we start. Remember, I had this friend back in like 2nd, 3rd grade, came over to my house. My dad had this old electric typewriter in the back room, and he wrote this real funny story on it. I remember this dude was never wrong, you know what I mean? And he wrote in the beginning, and now we stat. Forgot to put the R and start. I said, hey, you made a mistake. He's like, no, I didn't. I meant to write that. He's saying it in like a Brooklyn accent. He said, now we stat. All right, dude. So you're not going to ever be wrong, man. I bet you if I called him right now and mentioned it, he'd probably like, I did make a mistake. I meant to write stat. I still say it all the time. Now I'm going to start this. You going to start with me? Start me up? Don't start. Not again. Right? S-T-A-T. Asshole. So, this particular instrument is highly maligned online. Most people have a you know, opinion of it, or somebody like comes from whatever, you know what I mean, forum, and like, hey, what do you think of Behringer guitars? All the, you know what I mean, resident douchebags on whatever guitar form, you know, service. It's a piece of garbage made by child laborers sitting on stools. Well, that might be true, but it's not really that bad. You know what I mean? Really, I mean, I've been a visiting lurker on most of those websites, especially Ultimate Guitar Land, whatever it is. I remember like posting one time on there years ago, and people are such assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? I mean, you're the one that they've appointed the guitar expert of the world. You fucking prick. He's probably rather live with his mother. You know what I mean? In the basement, like me. I don't live with my mom. I had no problem with that. I live with my mom in a heartbeat. Cook for me all day long. Treat me like my mom, yeah? So, why is this guitar so hated? So, I wanted to do a little bit more research. I wanted to delve into that, you know what I mean? So, I went back to that Amazon site that we looked at before, and I looked at the feedback from customers who actually bought the combo thing. A lot of people actually said, hey, you know, it's a pretty good starter set, you know what I mean? It's got a nice lamp. A lot of praise for the amp. A lot of people love the amp. But there are a lot of like little, minor complaints about the guitar. Mostly people said that the strings that were on the instrument when they got it out of the box were garbage. Well, that's to be expected, right? Especially in the early 2000s China, you know what I mean? Chinese were really cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were complaining about the instrument buzzing, problems. Well, yeah, sure, you know what I mean? I saw on this particular instrument that these adjustment screws on the little saddles, a lot of them were helter-skelter. One was down, one was up, one was down, one was up. It's like, of course it's going to buzz if it's like that. That's the first thing you check. You want a real smooth, sleek action. Get it down as low as you can before, everything's not buzzing. Fret every single string, go up the neck. When you find a particular, fret where one or two strings buzz, you go up here, you do like a quarter of a round on each side, bring it up a little tiny bit until it stops buzzing. That's the way you do it in a nutshell, really. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get rid of the buzz mostly, you know what I mean? So like I said before, work the truss rod, people. You got to work the truss rod. So before the big, deal with Amazon, there was another version of this that Behringer offered. Like the first one, it actually had like a real Strat body, like a standard Strat body. And then they adopted this Rickenbacker style cresting wave sort of, I don't know what you would call it. I can see cresting wave, design. Right around the time they got the deal with Amazon, I guess they figured, hey, at least, we can't get sued by Fender now, you know what I mean? There's nothing like the Fender Stratocaster. But that's where they got their inroads, man, because Amazon before 2005 really was just like an online bookseller. You get CDs and tapes and shit on there too, DVDs. That's what they sold. Right around 2005, it became Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they both sort of grew up together. Behringer no longer offers any kind of guitars. Really, no guitar accessories. They're pretty much sticking with modules and mixers, things like that, electronic components. So it's a piece of the past. After they discontinued this instrument, they continued with an instrument that looked very similar to this physically. Only difference was there was a USB out. I believe maybe we had headphones out. That's just the history for you if you wanted to know it. If you didn't want to know it, you're probably not even watching this, right? I don't know, maybe just watching it because you feel bad for me. In that case, thank you. So let's hear it. You know what I mean? Got nothing else to really do, right? And we'll have a good time, right? So, and now we start. There it is, man. The Behringer V-Tone guitar, man. This is really just meant as an accessory for the student version of their cheapest modeling amp. Look at that, man. I'm actually, anybody who's ever gotten like one of these little combo deals from China recognize a cable like this is unused. Never even opened out of the package. The cheapest cheese dick cable of all time, man. So you get the full Behringer experience. So don't really judge this guitar. I mean, the whole thing was really about the amplifier. Behringer was never like a guitar. You know what I mean? They were never looking to be. This cable is really cheesy. Maybe a mistake. But I wanted to do justice to it, and I want you to see the true Behringer experience. Here's a little amp, 108. Folks, if you want to click below, I have the link to the amp month video that we featured this instrument. And now we have the accessory that goes with it. Plug this old bird in, man. Turn it on. Ooh, look at that. So we're going to start. I don't know where we're going to start. We're going to start wherever it is. So this is position 1. Some overdrive on there. Let me see here. That's California, hot, and US. Kind of crappy. Here it is. Go clean, British, and UK speaker. There's a British UK speaker. It's kind of weak, right? High gain. Not bad, man. I remember fooling around with this when I was recording. It sounds like it's out of tune. Totally in tune. I don't know. There's a tweed, clean, tweed high gain. So that's about it, man. So I could be here all day showing you how this thing sounds. That's position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5. Jangle of the bridge, right? It's got, the knobs are real small on this amp. Anyway, peace be with you. This is the last opportunity for you to do something. So the last days of August. You know, most of you have already wasted your summer, so you know what I mean? Just don't listen. Honey came and she caught me red-handed, quick with the girl next door. Picture this, we're both buck naked, banging on the bathroom floor. How was I to remember I had given her the extra key? Well, that time she was standing there, she never took her eyes off me. Shaggy, wash your hands, man. Wash that bathroom floor, bro. So that's it, man. The V-tone guitar. Not really that bad. Could be a nice instrument. I don't have any flaws other than this amp's kind of cheesy. Cable's kind of cheesy. Guitar definitely kind of cheesy. Is it as good as my first guitar? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Would I have been happy if this was my first guitar? Absolutely. All right. Peace be with you. See you in September.